Lee Jaedong is a Korean Starcraft pro gamer, dancer, and was a franchise star Zerg player for Lecaf Oz. He was known for his aggressive style of play, and he would never back down to anyone under any circumstances ever since he came into the league. Due to his fearlessness and hyper-aggressive playstyle, he was initially dubbed the Legend Killer at the start of his career. However, as his career progressed, he earned his most well-known moniker, the Tyrant, as he vanquished all his adversaries. But life wasn't always like this for the Tyrant. He was not the most naturally gifted player, and thus he had to overcome many challenges, especially early in his career. So how did it all happen, and how did JD become the GOAT of Brood War Zerg? Hello guys, my name is Oxo, and today we're gonna take a deep dive into Jaedong's career and his legacy, Starcraft Chronicles. Jaedong was born on January 9th, 1990 in the city of Ulsan, South Korea. From a very young age, he was engrossed in gaming, particularly arcade games that were popular in the past, such as Tekken and Dance Dance Revolution. However, the incident that would completely alter Jaedong's life in a way that no one could have anticipated at the time was when his parents bought him a personal computer at age 11. Since Jaedong grew up in Korea during the late 1990s and early 2000s, a time when Starcraft was all the rage, it was only a matter of time before he tried the game himself, and when his older brother's friend visited one day and taught him how to play, as if the stars had aligned, JD instantly fell in love with the game. He showed signs of his killer instinct even from a young age. He loved winning any day of the week and hated losing more than anything. Naturally, like most professional gamers when they were growing up, his parents did not approve of him taking this path. The risk was simply too high, and the future of this career was very uncertain at the time. Undeterred by his parents' disapproval, Jaedong regularly found ways to sneak out of the house and participate in local PC cafe tournaments. He did everything from gathering information about the tournaments to preparing his game plans all by himself when he was still a young lad. As he continued to win more and more games and tournaments, he came to the conclusion that there was no one in Ulsan who could legitimately defeat him. As a result, he began to attend tournaments in Busan and Seoul. As his victories in amateur tournaments accumulated, his hunger and desire to become a professional Starcraft player grew ever stronger. Jaedong's parents observed his dedication and commitment to the game, which he took very seriously even from a young age. They eventually agreed to support his dream, but only under one condition. He had to keep up his studies and get into a decent high school. Jaedong was overjoyed and readily accepted the offer. He then proceeded to study during the week and participate in tournaments during the weekend. He revealed that one of the most memorable moments from this period of time was the first ever tournament his parents gave him a ride to, which was held in the city of Pohang. He ultimately emerged as the winner in the tournament and was awarded a digital camera as the prize. He presented it to his parents as a gift and fondly remembers it as one of the proudest moments of his life. This is also around the time when JD joined his guild, End Die or Never Die, in Asia server, also known as the guild Brittany, Jaehoon, and Sue were in. The guildmaster End Die Yong later recollected that even though his clan was rather unknown and he did not advertise it anywhere at the time, Jaedong appeared out of nowhere and decided to join the guild and stayed till the end. What a legend. Anyways, as time passed, Jaedong successfully gained admission to a decent high school as he had promised. However, as he solved one problem, many more took its place. Due to his undivided focus on becoming a professional gamer, he was unable to keep up with the academic curriculum of high school. He would regularly game hard through the night, sleep in school, or even skip schools on certain days, and so naturally, his grades plummeted. All of his teachers heavily disagreed with Jaedong's one and only dream, and he had to endure lots of hurtful words during his high school years. Then one day, He came to the realization that he could no longer endure this lifestyle and ultimately decided to drop out in the second semester of his freshman year. He stated that it was not that he did not want to study, but rather that he had nothing on his mind except becoming a professional Starcraft player. This assertion was, I think, later corroborated by the fact that he re-enrolled and ultimately graduated from high school. After dropping out of school, he strictly adhered to a wake, eat, game, sleep, repeat schedule. Though he wanted this pathway, the future was muddy and unclear to say the least, and he felt sorry for his parents more than anything, which fueled him to play harder and harder every day. During this time, he participated in the monthly Courage match, a tournament consisting of round of 64 best of 3 matches, in which only the top player from each group was granted a permit to become a semi-professional gamer. Jaedong famously dropped it 9 times, but he denied giving up, though I'm sure his anxiety was slowly but surely catching up to him. He also tried out to become a part of Starcraft pro teams such as KOR, later known as OG and Sparkies, and eNatureTop, later known as Eastro, but was rejected, though not all events during this period were negative, as Jacob, the coach of the professional Starcraft Team Plus, later known as Lecaf Oz, invited Jaedong to join the team as an online trainee, and Jaedong gladly accepted. 2 weeks prior to Jaedong's 10th Courage Match Day, Jacob called up Jaedong to the first team house to stay and practice together. Staying in the first team house, Jaedong continued to practice, cook, do laundry, and wash dishes until the day of the competition. When that day arrived, there was a distinct change in the atmosphere. He ripped through the tournament as if it were nothing, and finally, Jaedong became a semi-professional Starcraft player, and later was drafted by Lecaf Oz with the first round pick during the first half of the 2006 draft. He later expressed his gratitude to Jacob, stating that he would not be where he is today if it were not for Jacob's unwavering belief in him and his unwavering support in every way possible. In the end, after all the hardships that he had endured, he finally had the opportunity to prove himself, and prove himself he did. Due to his prior time as a trainee on the team and Jacob's bottomless faith in him, Jaedong's opportunity for his debut game came very soon. Jaedong made his professional league debut on April 30th, 2006, losing to Tester. However, the most surprising event on the day was Jacob's decision of choosing Jaedong to face Eliza in the Ace match. It's one thing to see a rookie take on an Ace match on a pro league, but to see that happen in his debut match? That was extremely rare. Jaedong ultimately lost both games and the Pro League match, but he was not intimidated by his early failures. Instead, they only fueled his determination to practice even harder for his next game. On May 6th of 2006, he finally got his first win by beating Jihoon, going on to win the Rookie of the Year with 6 wins and 5 losses during the first round of 2006 Sky Pro League. He demonstrated marked improvement in the second round, finishing with an impressive record of 11 wins and 1 loss, including 10 consecutive wins against Zerg. He went on to defeat a number of veteran legendary players such as Nada, Reach, Go Rush, and Choja, earning himself his first nickname, Legend Killer. He had the most wins that season, and a lot of people were mesmerized by his aggressive style of play. He legit was a baby-faced assassin. He even earned himself the opportunity to compete in the final stages of MSL near the end of the year, but he was eliminated in the round of 16. He entered the 2007 season with a burning desire to prove himself. He concluded the first round of 2007 Shinhan Bank Pro League with a record of 15 wins and 7 losses, leading his team to a second place finish, losing to Samsung Khan in the finals. He came back with vengeance in the second round with 13 wins and 6 losses, as he and Anytime, the veteran ace player of the team and a Brood War Hall of Famer, led the team to the finals once again. The opposing team was CJ Entis. Jaedong won the first game of the finals against Iris, and Lecaf went on to win the series in a dominant fashion. They even proceeded to win the grand finals, a match between the winners of round 1 and 2, thus exacting their revenge on Samsung Khan and becoming the undisputed champions of 2006 2007. Jaedong also earned the ticket to the final stages of 2007 Ever OSL for the first time of his career. He defeated Light in the quarterfinals 2-1 and Up Magic in the semi, brutally sending him back home with 3-0 sweep. The second game of this match was also the very well-known game in which Jaedong demonstrated the simultaneous micro of two groups of Mutalisks. He faced Stork in the finals, who had defeated Bisu in the semifinals, after a brutal Game 1 defeat where Stork forced Jaedong into an all-in play while he built up photon cannons to defend his base with. Jaedong pulled off one of the greatest mid-game comebacks in Game 2. Jaedong lost a number of his drones early in the game to Stork's Zealots and was once again kind of forced into a position where he had to commit to an all-in strategy. He amassed a force of Mutalisks and Scourges for what would become the game-ending push, and to see the Protoss sky covered by Mutalisks and Scourges truly felt like a moment from a Brood Wars cinematic. Jaedong was then able to regain his momentum, ultimately defeating Stork 3-1 to win his first ever OSL as the Royal Rotor. Cementing his status as more than just a promising young player, he rose from being a high school dropout to the top of the world in a Brood War professional scene in just a span of 2 years. Jaedong around this time was so dominant that he didn't feel the need to even advance to the Hive Tech because most of the games ended with his Mutas. Although he bounced out in the quarterfinals of 2008 Bacchus OSL to Flash, who'd go on to win it all, he won his first ever MSL, defeating Calm, July, Bisu, Practice, Flash, and Mine on his way to finals against Cal. Cal, who was drafted by STX Seoul in the same draft as Jaedong, was also considered by many to be a super rookie who was particularly strong against Zerg players. However, Jaedong was no ordinary Zerg player, as he proved in the finals by shutting down Cal 3-1. He also added the TG Sambo Intel Classic Season 1 Championship to his list of accomplishments by defeating Flash in the finals 3-0. He demonstrated his strong consistency in the Pro League, finishing the season with a record of 11 wins and 7 losses. However, his team failed to qualify for the playoffs. Then comes 2009. Jaedong, at the peak of his prime, demolished his adversaries on his way to the finals of the 2008-09 Batu OSL, defeating Stork in the quarterfinals and Hero in the semi. He faced Fantasy in the finals, who was also eager to prove himself. Jaedong lost the first 2 games, largely due to Fantasy's signature Vulture rotations. However, he was able to reverse sweep Fantasy, winning the final 3 games and claiming his second OSL.
진정한 파괴의 신이 정말 신이 되어버린 장면입니다. 3세트에서 막았어야 됩니다. 그 많은 결승, 그 많은 우승, 그 많은 상금, 그 많은 팬들의 반호, 이 모든 것을 다 기원해본 이재동이.
He also bulldozed his way through the finals of 2009 Bacchus OSL, defeating Effort and Flash in the group stage, Zero in the quarterfinals, and Fantasy in the semi. He matched up against Yellow, the Yellow who got caught match fixing not the legendary player, and brutally murdered him 3-0, showing who's the boss in ZVZ.
스콜지가 제대로 못 박.
Earning his third OSL and the Golden Mouse.
이 중압감이 공격적인 박명수를 수비적으로 만들었던 거고요.
여러분, 이재동 선수가 세 번째로 하지만 가장 빠른 시간 내에 골든 마운트의 주인공이 됐습니다. 여러분 축하해 주시죠. 바깥을 따르고 있던 게 우승자 이재동입니다.
Jaedong basically did an any percent speed run on obtaining the Golden Mouse, and he holds the record for the fastest time to this day. He also earned his gold medal, winning the WCC 2009 killing Bisu and Stork in the process. Then comes the Nate MSL, which is considered to be one of the worst MSLs by many fans because of a variety of reasons. It was Jaedong against Flash in the finals, and one of the most controversial moments in Starcraft Brood War Pro scene happened on this day. During the third game, all computers, including those of both players and observers, blacked out for a moment, and the game progress was lost, including the replay.
경기 진행된 도중에 18분 한 40여 초 만에 경기가 잠깐 중단된 것 같은데요. 자, 지금 세 번째 세트 이영호 선수와 이재동 선수 경기 도중에 경기 일시 중단됐습니다.
네.
워낙에 열전이기 때문에
네.
여기가 너무 뜨겁네요.
The game was tied at 1 apiece, making it a crucial match for both players. The referee were of course forced to intervene and announce their decision. Because Jaedong was objectively far ahead of Flash in the game, Jaedong gets the W for the third game. No rematch. This of course caused a great deal of controversy. Flash and KT roster boycotted the decision for over 40 minutes, but the decision was never reversed. Jaedong went on to win his second MSL, defeating Flash 3-1. In the Pro Leagues, Jaedong was still Jaedong, sweeping everyone in KT during the playoffs in the 2008-09 Shinhan Bank Winners League, leading his team to the finals. He then defeated Effort, Iris, and Saver, and led Hwasung to a 3-0 score against CJ before losing to Sky High in Game 4. However, not everything went Jaedong's way in 2009 as none of his teammates were able to defeat Sky High, and Jaedong had to watch his team crumble right before triumph from the bench.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Jaedong also led Hwasung to the finals of 2008-09 Shinhan Bank Pro League with a total of 54 wins in a single season, also winning the regular season MVP. However, his team lost to SKT T1 in the finals, and Jaedong himself lost to Hyuk in Fantasy with a record of 0-3.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Entering the 2010 season, Jaedong was widely regarded as the Bonja after a dominant 2009 season, but slowly began to show signs of decline as his wrist condition worsened. Ever since he was young, he kept his work ethic of practicing 12 to 13 hours a day, and his wrist just couldn't handle it anymore. But true to saying that once a Bonja is always a Bonja, Jaedong proved his class by reaching the finals of Hanadet 2 MSL and Korean Aero OSL Season 2. Even though he lost both of the finals to Flash, he showed everyone why he was still the Tyrant. He was also appointed as the team's captain around this time. However, he was unable to lead his team to the playoffs this season, as he never had any real help, especially after any time enlisted in the army to become a member of Air Force Ace. He suffered a decline in performance during the 2011 season, losing in the semifinals of PD Pop MSL to Hydra, the semifinals of the ABC Mart MSL to Zero, and the group stage of the 2011 Jin Air OSL. Jaedong gave his all in the Pro Leagues to help his team reach the playoffs, but they were one game short from making it.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
And to add insult to injury, his beloved team Lecaf Oz disbanded at the end of the season. This was a heartbreaker for Jaedong, who had never wanted to play for any other team than Hwasung. Teamless, he joined Team 8, which was founded by Kespa after the disbandment of NBC Game Hero, We Made Fox, and Hwasung Oz, with the purpose of protecting and allowing more professional gamers to continue their careers. Since Jaedong wasn't able to practice regularly in a stable environment, his performance in Brood War scene declined. However, he performed surprisingly well in the first ever Starcraft 2 Pro League, but since we are strictly discussing Brood War, I will not go into much detail about that. After the season, he was loaned and eventually traded to Evil Geniuses as a Starcraft 2 pro gamer, where he eventually had a successful career. Several years later, he retired from playing competitively near the end of 2016 and returned to streaming Brood War, where he remains today. So what really is Jaedong's legacy, and how was he perceived in mainland Korea back in the Kespa era? Frankly, I believe that lengthy explanation of how he was perceived not only in Korea, but anywhere else would be unnecessary. He's the GOAT when it comes to Brood War Zerg, and one of the best professional Brood War players to ever touch the keyboard. He was relentless, vindictive, and unforgiving in his playing style, and his insane work ethic allowed him to maintain his form without any significant drop-off. In contrast to his hyper-aggressive playing style, Jaedong was also considered by many to have a kind heart and always cared about his fans. Jacob, Jaedong's longtime mentor, once said that he believed in Jaedong from the time he was an amateur, not only because of his talent, but also because of his emotional maturity. Jaedong never created any controversy or fuss surrounding his personal life or tried to scam his fans with cryptocurrencies. His loyalty to the fans and the team was paramount, which is why he never left Hwasung despite SKT T1's annual attempts to recruit him. Jaedong once said that he believed that if he put his all into his endeavors, money would naturally follow. He proved this to be true through his own success. He was truly a legendary Brood War player and a kind-hearted individual. He finished his career with a total of 3 OSL titles, earning himself the Golden Mouse, 1 OSL runner-up, 2 MSL titles, 3 MSL runner-ups, 3 MSL third place finishes, 1 WCG gold medal, 1 WCG bronze medal, 2 Pro League titles, Rookie of the Year, and 3 regular season MVPs. He advanced to the final stages of OSL 10 times and MSL 11 times. He had a total of 241 wins and 108 losses in the Pro League, and with all of his official matches combined, had a 69.1% career win rate with 574 wins and 265 losses. The greatest Zerg player of all time. Anyways, that concludes the video. I hope you all enjoyed watching it, as I certainly enjoyed making it, as I'm also a big fan of Jaedong myself. If you guys enjoyed the contents, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and as always, I'll see you all very soon.